Hi. Uh, in this example, we'll be working on how to set up a camera and work with some camera features actually. So this is a very basic setup. If you see here, we have a list of surfaces around, and then we have just a basic ultra dynamics guide. That's it. So now into this, I have made some couple of bookmarks here, which is your bookmark one and then bookmark two. Now, maybe I'll be watching through from this particular camera view so that I can get depth of field and other parameters from the camera. So just get started with this. So just pick up any scene to start it. It can be same if you apply on your environment also, but I took the basic setup so that you can understand what is this all about. So start with here and cinematic, just get a cine camera actor. You got the camera here. So once you do, just place the camera at the right place, and I'm just flipping it around 180 degrees and moving your object. And so, and I'm slightly making a little angular. That's good. Yeah. So if you see right now here, everything is in focus. Or maybe what you can just do is by selecting the camera, you can use an option called as palette camera so that you're just watching from the camera view. That will give you more result. Or right click again, so you can exit from here, or again right click and set as stop projecting. Right. So again, we'll come back to the perspective as a default. Right. So very first, before we start with anything on a camera, first understand what kind of aperture value we have, as well as what kind of field of view we have, which is your focal length. Right. If you see, if the lens starts opening for a longer time period, what you see is you will be getting a good amount of light. At the same time, if the lens starts opening for a shorter time period, you'll be getting a less light actually typically. At the same time, if you see this environment right over there, which is a good landscape, what you're talking about, but as the lens away focal view is varying, like a field of view is varying from 18 mm to 300 mm, you see the details, which is coming up, right? We are trying to focus on a specific portion there, right? So again, again, it just depends on your pie chart as well as the field of view. These are just two parameters we just need to keep in mind. Sorry. So now come back to here, and once we have a camera, now yeah, just have the camera right over there. And now, which is the film back is the default value, which is always keep it to 16:9 as a distinct frame, and the lens settings keep it as an universal zoom. Now, here is your basic stuff here, which is the minimum focal length, maximum focal length, minimum f-stop, and maximum f-stop. These four are your default values of your camera. As I was talking about here, what from where to where you have to go, from where to where you have to go. These are your basic settings right there. And once you've done that, next is all about changing those attributes from the bottom. Like an example, I can say, can you see right now, we have a focal length here, right? And then we have a current aperture. Now, let's talk about, say, current aperture. Suppose I just want something like this particular example right here, which is a current aperture is 2.8. Very good. But I want to focus on one specific object. I don't want to focus on the entire environment like this. I want to focus on one specific object. So what I do is the aperture is the right value. Now maybe I'll start changing the focal length from 85. Let's say it as 65. For this environment, I'm just saying, like it just depends from environment to environment, how big your environment is there. I just did that, right? And can you see now it's too tight for my frame? Maybe let's say it as 45. You can see slightly wider. That's good. Then next, try to focus it. But still, if you notice right now, every object on your environment here are in focus right now. Correct? Can you see each and everything is been in a focus right now? Now, to get out of like defocus or out of focus, what you can just do is you have this manual focus distance. What you can do is you can click this one and click on the surface, whatever you want to be focused. Got it. Now, again, after that, can you see right now? That's good. Can you start seeing this? Maybe I can pilot it for a second. It's not doing it. Yeah, can you see right now the objects which are in focus, you can able to see that very nicely. And can you see that? Right. So these are pretty much on your focus. You can turn this off from your visualization, and if you don't want that, depth of field aids. Now, can you see very clearly? This is very crisp and clean, the sharpness. As you go towards the back, it's try to starts getting out of focus, where you're getting depth of field there. So that's pretty much you need to work on. So these are your minimum and maximum values, which is a default. Now, where you can control the minimum and maximum from either from your aperture as well as your focal length, what focal length you want to do, and then you can work on. And this is your basic. As you move your camera, your focus starts shifting from one object to one object, one object to one object, and so on. You can animate all these values by adding the camera into your a sequencer. We'll be talking about in next session. So again, so maybe let me move this camera here. Can you see right now? Can you see the focus one? This is what it has been focusing, right? Let me exit from the pilot. Maybe we can see it here very clearly. Now, the minute I drag this camera, see this? The focus shifts from one place to one place. Now you can see this object also is very clearly visible. At the same time, as it goes out, you see that it's going to be a autofocus. So just pilot the camera. You can see that nicely visible there, right? Hope this session will help you with the basic understanding of camera. See you in the next session.